Howdy everyone, and welcome back to the Luna Geeks Out channel. This video is far later than I intended for it to be. I had a cold this past week, so you know, my voice might still be a little messed up in this one. I might have to pause and cough a little bit, all that not fun stuff. But I'm finally recovered, finally able to get back to this, and it I suppose ended up being some rather appropriate timing, because today we are checking out the 6x FEMM. Their name, of course, stands for Far East Mention Mannequins. Frankly, I don't understand what that means. There's lore to it, and I have not looked into it. I don't understand it. If someone can explain it to me, I would love to hear it. But, you know, mannequins, the reason I mention that is, as of today, the ridiculously annoying battle with Amazon to get the right mannequin has finally come to fruition, and I have my display done. So, you know, somewhat appropriate that I am filming a reaction to a mannequin group the day that one actually arrives. So, just, you know, somewhat of an amusing coincidence, I suppose. But I am very excited to check this out. I've heard, you know, some mixed stuff on this one. Heard some folks liking it, heard some folks not liking it. So I'm not sure where I'm going to land on this. I'm sure I'm going to enjoy it because I am very easy to please with this stuff. But, you know, I don't know where it's going to fall in sort of the ranking that I have for their music. But again, I'm very excited to check this out. So without further ado, let's hop into it. Alright, interesting sound so far. Okay, interesting shift there. Started off just all spooky vibes, and now into this. Some very heavy vocal distortion. Oh, Metallica shirt, nice. Some very heavy vocal distortion, which it doesn't really work for me. It's working here, but it's not hitting as hard as I think it could. Okay, got some guitar coming in, nice. This section, so much better. Still got, you know, the electronic elements, the vocal distortion, which they tend to have, which works really well, but it's not so... over the top isn't quite the right word, because I like stuff that goes a little crazy, but... feels a little tighter, I suppose. Slower section, very nice. Interesting little sort of spot there, sort of like that, repeat with this music. Good, percussion here. Alright. Not how I thought it was going to shift there, but I'm liking this bit. Liking the vocal layering is a nice touch. Alright, yeah, that one... honestly, the weakest song I've heard from them. The vocals really did not work for me. But there was a lot of interesting stuff in that one. The instrumentation was solid. Oh, that one, unfortunately, was not for me. I'm sure as I listen to it more, I'll get a better understanding of sort of growing me a little bit, but yeah, definitely not for me, unfortunately. But before I hop into the full music review, of course, lyrical analysis, and there is some solid stuff in this one. It's actually part of the reason I'm disappointed that the vocals are so rough and so heavily distorted. It's a bit harder to make out what's going on in the lyrics, which I think is some really good stuff. So, we'll start off right in the beginning with the, I believe this is the chorus. The first two lines, "There's no way to heaven, I'ma find my way." That, to me, is this idea of, you know, life, it's not presenting you with this path towards, you know, whatever this end goal is, whatever this good thing is. So you're not going to give up. You're going to go and you're going to go make your own way. You're going to go find your own way. You're not going to stop and just let sort of the path work itself out, where it's like, oh, I'm not getting this thing that I'm working for. I'm just gonna sit back and not do anything. You know, it is, you were going and you're saying, no, this is the goal, I'm going to go and get that no matter what is thrown my way. So very good. Then follow my lead. That to me is very much like, you know, this is an example I'm setting forth that you should keep an eye on, and then it's do or die. Just that idea of, you know, this is something that we're going to do this, or we are going to, you know, we're not gonna accept failure. We are, you know, pushing ourselves to the end. And then right at the end of that, climbing up, 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 flat to boring slope, not for me. Just an idea that, you know, you're not going to take the easy path, not going to take the easy way out here. You are going to keep fighting, keep pushing along this harder path to get this end goal. So very, very good stuff in that, in that chorus. The first verse doesn't really have too much to point out, but like a God-made disaster coming down from heaven suddenly does tie into that first line, "There's no way to heaven." And I'm sure if I wasn't still just a little out of it from being sick, I could get something from that. It's a solid line, I don't think there's much to point out with that right now. Right at the end of that, "I fight it like a beast," just ties back into that idea of fighting for this eventual goal. Then I believe this is the pre-chorus here. "We go higher, higher, take my hand, baby, never let it go, hold on tight." You know, again, you keep on going up this path towards success, but, you know, that an idea that you're not alone in this as well, so very good right there. Then I believe this is the second verse, "Don't want to fake it no more, speak out, it's time to show myself now, real me, I'm calling, screaming my lungs out," so on and so forth right at the end, "and showing my glow." Just an idea of, it again ties into this sort of seizing your own fate and everything, but it is showing who you really are. It's, you know, honestly an idea that comes up in a lot of the stuff I check out on this channel, strangely enough. But an idea of, you know, this is your own path you are fighting. You're not taking what is sort of, you're going down your own path, so you're going to show yourself on it. You're not going to hide away, not take that easy way out of blending in. You're going to be yourself, you're going to be proud of that. Then right after that, "We go and survive a brand new day." Just again, the ties back in for me to that it's do or die line. Just the idea that, again, you're going to keep pushing, you're going to make it through this, you're going to see success. You know, it is a brand new day. All these struggles are going to come to an end. And then right after that, some more good stuff. "You're going to stick with me, we'll be alright together, I'm going to find a way to live it up together." Just again, a good reminder that you're not alone in this. And then we have, then things get interesting. "I'm super freaking psychic, oh, be my sidekick." Do love that rhyme right there, that's great. "Worked at freaky, spooky, sixth sense." Oh, that's hard to say. "Freaky, spooky, sixth sense. I'ma punch it hard like a sandbag. I'ma strike it through like a home run. Never miss my aim, so run for life." I honestly don't know there. I'm sure I could tie it into, you know, again, this idea of fighting back and, you know, pushing through these hardships and everything. I don't know what to say there. Sometimes they're just lines like that. Then we have the Japanese part, which fortunately they have a translation of it in the comments, so I'm very glad that they did that, because there's some stuff in here to talk about as well. "Reality that was here until yesterday is not secured anymore. Everything is about to collapse. You're supposed to be right next to me, but has changed into something unknown. Battle is starting at our usual place. Who could have imagined? When I wake up, I might not even be myself. I'm just trapped in this case of doubts." lots of stuff in there, and certainly with the translation, some of the original writing, I suppose the way it would flow originally is lost, unfortunately. But what I'm seeing here is this final look at some of the hardships. I'm just trapped in this case of doubts. The struggles that you face. Things like depression and stuff like that can make it harder to seek out this end goal that you have, make it harder to find the success you're looking for. And it's a darker end to the song, especially you were supposed to be right next to me. This idea that the person who was alongside them is now gone. It's a dark end to the song, but I think it is some good stuff in the end, right? This acknowledgement of the struggles that can be encountered in life and everything. So all in all, there's some good stuff in this track. A few things that just flow weirdly, a few things that are hard to piece together, and unfortunately dark end. But all in all, I do really like the lyricism in this one. I know, if memory serves correctly, this was like the TV show, the theme song for like a reality TV show, a game show thing, something like that. I don't remember the specifics. So maybe this has a lot of tie-ins to that specifically. I couldn't speak on that as I really know nothing about the show. But what we get here, just on sort of that surface level, is really nice. Unfortunately, I can't necessarily say the same for the music. There was stuff I liked, but it fell flat for me. So I'll start off with the vocals. They did not work for me in this song. Plain and simple, they did not work for me. There were moments I liked. Right at the end where you had all that vocal layering with almost the more spoken word sort of over the heavily distorted singing. I thought that was pretty cool. I thought that was a really cool sound and a good utilization of that heavy distortion. And there was that one moment where it was less heavily distorted that I thought was quite nice, but the vocal distortion in this was just way too much for me. And I've talked in the past how I tend to prefer a bit more of a natural vocal sound, So, right off the bat, I am a little biased against this, of course. But FEMM, what they've done in the past is it's been some fairly light distortion, creating just a unique effect that really ties into sort of both the music itself. It benefits greatly with that, the heavy electronic focus, but also this lore idea that they are mannequins. It ties into that, where they have a bit more of a robotic sound, which is really nice. So most of the time, the vocal distortion they have works for me. It might not always be my favorite, but it works for me. And I know recently we checked out Who I Am by Miri, which had some vocal distortion in it as well. I thought it was done excellently there. In this one, it was too much, plain and simple. It was a cool sound, sure, but it was too much for me. I think having it be throughout the entire song just did not work. And that is very much a personal taste kind of thing. I'm sure there are folks who really liked this. I know this is, again, heavily focused by just my, not so much distaste, but my preference of more natural sounding vocals. So this is something that I'm a bit less likely to enjoy, unfortunately, but the vocals in this did not work for me. Then we have, well, I'll move on to the percussion in this next. I thought that was solid. A few moments where I was like, oh, this is really nice. I can't remember if I pointed it out or not, but I thought the percussion in this was pretty dang good. Nothing too crazy, but there were a lot of moments where I was like, oh, I really like what this is doing here. It was just great backing to the song, so that was nice. The general just electronic stuff was pretty good. Again, not my favorite. I've heard some better stuff from them, but I thought it had a good atmosphere. I thought it was pretty nice. Good, almost heavier electronic sound, which, the stuff I tend to listen to with electronics is more like dark synth, synthwave, retro synth, stuff like that. Maybe the occasional more almost chiptune kind of thing or whatever, which is more lighter electronic music, right? This was more, I don't know, EDM, dubstep kind of stuff, so a bit heavier, a bit more than I tend to go for, but I thought it was actually quite nice here. Not the style I normally go for, but hey, that actually worked. I thought that was some good stuff. Not my favorite, but good. Then there was the guitar in there. The last thing I want to point out, I thought that was really nice. And of course, I'm biased towards that kind of thing, being a metalhead first and foremost. But that was some cool stuff. Honestly, if like the whole song had been like that, I probably would have liked it a whole lot more. Just because I think the way everything came together in that section, even with those, I think there were some heavier distorted vocals there. I think everything came together a lot better. That heaviness that was brought in by that sort of metal attitude, I think actually blended well with that heavy distortion. So if the song had been more like that throughout, I think it would have worked more for me. But what we got was, it is a song that shows some good promise. There's a lot of good stuff in here, but the execution of it, again, heavily impacted by the vocals, but the execution of the entirety of it, it fell flat for me, which is a shame. I mean, this is the first song I've heard by them that I would actually consider calling bad, and I wouldn't call this one bad. But I mean, they've had such a good run so far, and then this, which just really does not work for me, it is a shame to encounter, because I was really looking forward to this one. I did have a good time checking it out, and I am glad I checked it out and got to talk about it, but it was certainly, I had some very high expectations for this, and they unfortunately were not met. I'll be listening to this one. I hope that picked up on the mic. I'll be listening to this one some more to, give it a chance to grow on me, see if, there's been a few songs I've heard lately that, I wasn't quite getting, and then all of a sudden they just clicked, Like, honestly, the Summoning by Sleep Token is one like that. I liked it a lot more right off the bat. But it's like, I'm not sure if what it's doing is really doing it for me. And then I was still listening to Sleep Token. I love their stuff. And it's like, all of a sudden, it's like, oh, I get it now. I get it. This is working. So I'm hoping it'll be the case with this as well, that I listen to it some more, and I'll be like, oh, I see what they're doing here. That, yeah, this works. But unfortunately, right now, that's not the case. This is not an immediate, even not like, it's not my favorite, but it's still going to my music mix. This one, unless this grows on me, unfortunately, will not be making it into any of my playlists. And I did like this one, and again, there's a lot of stuff that I think was good within it, a lot of individual elements that I thought were really cool, and honestly, that end was fantastic. If it wasn't for the, how cool that, sort of metal element was, that would have been my favorite part. There was some really good stuff going on there. But this one just, I mean, it just fell flat, I think is the best way to put it, unfortunately. And, man, I really do hate to say that, because I love FEMM stuff so much. There's one more on the list that I'm sure I'm gonna enjoy, but this one, again, just wasn't for me. But, I hate to leave on a somewhat negative note, but I really don't have anything more to say on the song. So, next time you'll be checking out Aqua Regia by Sleep Token, so that is a recent release. I know there's also the recent baby metal song, Metal Kingdom. I'm holding out to see if we get, a music video for that. I know there was just the 2 live performances, so hopefully we'll get some footage from that as one of them, perhaps. That would be quite nice, but, that, I don't know when that's gonna happen, but next reaction will be Aqua Regia, which I'm looking forward to that so much. It's Sleep Token, it's one of my favorite bands. Oh boy, so that's gonna be a good time. That's gonna be a good time, undoubtedly. But, yeah, that is going to do it for the reaction. Hopefully next time I am fully healed up and my voice is not so bad. I'm not quite as tired, not quite as out of it. But, let's do it. What do I do with this? Thank you all for watching. Be sure to like if you liked, subscribe if you want to see more, and comment down below with your own thoughts of the track, any feedback or criticism, or anything you want me to react to. In the description, link to the music videos, and you can go check it out, support the artist, link to my playlist of different FEMM songs I've checked out, different FEMM content I've made, and my playlist of just Japanese music in general. So if y'all want to check out some similar content, you can do that. Link to my Discord server, Instagram, Twitter, Spotify playlist of all the songs I've reacted to, at least the ones up on Spotify, and my link tree, which has all my other stuff in it in case any of that interests y'all. Anyways, like I said, that's going to do it. So once again, thank y'all for watching, and until next time, I'll be seeing ya.